Great Rising fam. It's been a while. I actually feel a wee bit bad because I said I was going to keep up with the challenge with you guys. Now, on the up hand, I do continue to do the challenges. I'm on day 15, but obviously and unfortunately, I have not shared those progresses with you because I've just been constantly moving and moving. But the 21-day challenge meditation of abundance is extremely helpful and has been so amazing to implement into my daily practice because there's a task with it as well. So you meditate, you write a daily task, and like I said, I'm on day 15. And so I do want to update you guys on that really quick and tell you that it's amazing. Anybody that's interested in doing it, it's from Deepak Chopra's some abundance meditation challenge. And it's 21 days. Just such an amazing guided way of getting in tune with yourself. But anyways, I didn't really come up here to talk about that. I titled this video, I believe, Words Carry Energy or something of that nature, because I want to talk about the importance and power of what words we use and the fact that we can choose. So I shared a post just a moment ago about the differences of what words we're using. And when you get more to the core or root or source of something, you're you're close and more related to its original state, or its natural, most genuine, most authentic state of being. So that's the key to realizing what it is that you're saying. For instance, when we say good morning, notice that the word morning is in there, which has to do and is related directly with death. When you're mourning something, you are grieving or somewhat in a sad state to because you feel lack, you feel like you're missing something, someone, right? So when we say great rising, notice the word rising is in there, and that is something uplifting and also related to what we're doing. When the sun comes up, it's rising. When we wake up, we're rising. And so when you start making a more direct correlation with what it is that you're doing and paying attention to the words that you're using, it just creates such a better flow, a more abundant and in tune flow of energy for you. Because our words are very powerful. Although the intent is far more powerful, whatever it is that you're thinking, the words are a direct expression of that. And so if you come out with a thought and then decipher what words you want to use to actually carry out that thought and push that energy towards the manifestation, it just makes it that much more powerful. I hope this is making sense. Great rising, Ross. I also wanted to thank you and everyone, but especially you, for reaching out to me more recently, because I have been pretty ghost. I've been going through a lot. Haven't been posting much. I still try to, because you guys are my family, regardless of how far or close, how much I actually know you or not. The connections that I've made here are definitely dear to me. And so by you reaching out, Ross, and anyone else who has as well, it's helped me again realize how much support and love that I actually do have. Because a lot of times when you're growing through things, you're, in a state of like anxiety, angst, depression, anger, whatever it is, oftentimes we feel somewhat alone, or like as if we are the only ones that can take care of what it is that we're growing through. But nonetheless, just the acknowledgement and awareness that we have outside support, that we have love from others, we're just not seeing it at that time. For someone to reach out and someone to come out and say something to you is very, you know, for me, it gets sentimental because I appreciate it immensely. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Not everybody has those feels, but I want you guys to know that every single intention, motion of reaching out and talking to me or doing anything, any act of love like that is definitely embraced, accepted, and appreciated. So I see a couple people coming on, popping up, but have not seen a comment yet. Does anybody have any input or want to say or ask anything? Please do. I know it's early. Everybody's still getting the boogies out their eyes. Unfortunately, my little munchkin's sick too, so it's that time of year. I hope everyone is doing well. Nikola Tesla once said the entire universe can be broken down into waves and frequency. That's why music hits hard. Yes, thank you. Bird. Bird is the word. That is so true. And that's exactly what I mean by the whole thing of frequency and energy. Because, yes, that is so vital. The way that you tune into the frequencies and that the way that that's expressed as far as that's why music hits so hard. Oh my goodness. So very true. And that's also why it's like a universal language. We don't even have to speak to each other, but if we vibe with the same music, vibe, keyword vibe, vibration, frequency, waves, all goes in correlation. If we vibe with the same, song, for instance, we have just now connected on such a deep level, way beyond this physical. Sorry for the airplane noises in the background, by the way. I'm outside, so nonetheless, that is so true. So, okay, that's another thing I did want to bring up. I'm sure everyone's aware or has heard of the water experiment that Dr. Emoto did years and years and years ago about the way words can alter and shape the water. So he basically did 1 cup of water and spoke nothing but love to it. And took another cup of water and spoke nothing but hate and negative information to it. Just words. Well, also the intent. That's why it goes hand in hand. So by speaking to these cups of water, there was a result or outcome of each one forming different ways. One beautifully, one not so beautifully. Now, those things are also under perception, but we also have a very common understanding of what is abundant or lack thereof. So, when he spoke love to the cup of water, it developed beautiful crystalline type of, formation when it was, I guess, frozen. And then the other one turned out a black, like, look, when something looks like it's decayed, you can tell that's not healthy. There's, 2 ends of every spectrum. And it doesn't have to be positive or negative. It just is what it is. There's, levels to it. So it's a spectrum. Sliding scale kind of thing. I envision it. It's hard to explain. But one side of the stick and the other side of the other stick. So you can choose your perception, but you can also see very clearly what things are when you how do I say this, like, clear your vision, if that makes sense. When you bring clarity an objective standpoint to the situation. So it was very interesting to see that. I saw a video about that years ago. But that also has so much to do with what I'm trying to say with how words carry energy. Oh, wait. I was going to say morning, you missed me, but you had beat it. Very rising. So, yeah, that was another point, important point I wanted to make about the water. So, in correlation to this, and I'm sure people have heard this, I'm probably regurgitating something that you've heard, but nonetheless, it's important to understand. So if our body is composed of so much water, right? I don't know percentages. I'm not going to go there so that I don't get, any rebuttals about that. But there's over 50% for sure of water in our bodies that's used to regulate like all the, nutrients, the blood, the muscles, the organs. It's completely a fact that we have water in our bodies. And so if this experiment is true, you must understand how vital it is to you that the words you speak to yourself are that of uplifting spirits of love, self-love, and respect and dignity. Because as you speak to yourself, you are forming that water to go in certain directions. It's energy. As you're talking to yourself, every organ, every cell, every molecule of water too is responding to those intentions, to those energy flows. So pay attention to what you're saying to yourself. And at first, it really is kind of crazy because you're like, I didn't even know the kinds of thoughts that I have until I started paying attention to them. So you start noticing, you're like, why do I say this to myself? Or why do I say this inside myself? And then you can start being more diligent and in tune and start talking to yourself the way you want to, the things that you would prefer. Because honestly, these are subconscious triggers at first that you're not controlling, that you're not facing, that you're not acknowledging. Once you acknowledge them, they are no longer subconscious. They are no longer unaware or hidden. They are now in the light. They are now open, and it is now conscious, and now you can choose. You see what I'm saying? It's not something that happens overnight. I've been progressively doing this type of stuff for years, like at least 5+ years, because even before my type 1 diabetes, I was on this, positive trajectory of trying to change my mindset because of where I came from. I couldn't stand the negative connotations I had of myself because I knew I deserved better. So this honestly has been a lifelong journey for me. And some of us are just now getting on the wavelength of understanding ourselves, or getting in tune with ourselves, finding this whole self that we're unaware of. Because the thing is that we look outside of ourselves so much that we resonate and lengthen ourselves to be more of that than we are true to ourselves. Well, I'm sure everybody is going to have a beautiful and blessed Friday. I'm going to go ahead and get my day started. I just wanted to come up on here because, as I said initially, I love you guys. I always enjoy having conversations and open discussions about these things. And it is such a blessing, a beautiful blessing, to be able to express myself and resonate. Hopefully you guys can and understand some of what I'm saying. Anyone that has any comments or anything, feel free to leave them. Lots and lots and lots of love and blessings. Positive reinforcement takes effort and is a conscious choice, and being negative requires no effort. Exactly, Ross. Thank you for breaking that down even further. I hope you guys have a beautiful, blessed day, and I will talk to you guys later.